guys, welcome to Module 3, Video 1. Okay, so again, we're looking at the ITT material sentences for interpretation. Once again, now you should be used to this pattern, but we're going to hear it, right? I'm going to explain it. Okay, each one a little bit in detail, giving you some tips or maybe explaining a little bit more about vocabulary words and grammar structures. And then we're gonna listen to it straight through, right? And I'm gonna just give the answers, right? But that last time, remember, you should also be trying to give your answer and then listening to mine, right? So let's take a listen then to number 1. This one is a little bit longer. We've got 20 sentences we're listening to, okay? And it's a mix of some are a little longer, some are a little bit shorter, okay? But they're all quite good and all quite common in business English and some great vocabulary words as well. So let's start. Let's listen to number 1.
3-1 Korean to English sentences 1. 급여를 어느 정도 생각하고 계시나요?
Okay, so this one here. Are we going to put the word thinking? Probably not, okay? If you do, a casual way to say this would be something like, what do you think? What do you think? What? The salary 급여를, okay, whose? Yours. What do you think your salary will be, right? However, in business, we don't really like to use the word think, okay? Because think is just so general, right? And it's not specific enough. So generally we use words like advice, opinion, or feedback, okay? Advice, opinion, or feedback. These are basically the results of your thoughts of what you think, right? But again, these ones also are a little bit different. Here, 어느 정도 생각하고 계시나요? It means how much are you, 얼마나 생각을 이제 바란다, right? 얼마나를 원한다, 어느 정도일 것 같냐, right? So here we want to use the word expect, actually, the verb expect. So a lot of you guys know it as 기대하다, right? But the difference between expect and look forward to, I'm sure I've explained this before, is expect is something that you think is 당연히 이렇게 될 거다, right? Whereas look forward to means you're just excited for this. So how we would say this in business English is, what do you expect the salary to be? Okay, what do you expect the salary to be? So when you took this job, you think, oh, I think, it's going to be this amount, or maybe between this and this amount, right? So if they tell you a number that's above that amount or below that amount, how are you going to feel? Well, you're going to feel shocked and surprised because you were expecting this specific thing, okay? So one more time. What do you expect the salary to be? Now let's take a listen to number 2.
2. 일본 시장에 대해 시장 조사를 했는데 당신의 조언이 큰 도움이 될 것입니다.
Okay, you could say something like, it will be a big help, right? 큰 도움, big help. Better word for big is great help, right? But how business English usually will say is not just it will be a great help. Literally, 큰 도움을 될 것이다, right? But generally, they'll say something like this. Would be greatly appreciated. Okay, greatly appreciated by us. It means we would be so thankful. Okay, and the reason why I use would here is because it's the more formal form of will. Right? And also, whenever we use would, it's conditional, right? 뭐뭐 텐데. Because 만약 준다면 우리가 되게 감사할 것입니다. Right? Okay, so what would be very appreciated? It says here that the thing that would be very appreciated is their 조언, right? 조언 is, people think, advice. Okay? However, now I'm going to explain the difference between these 3. Opinion is, what does somebody think, right? What's your opinion on my new clothes? Or what's your opinion on this program, right? It's like, what do you think about this thing? Okay, you're giving their thoughts. And advice, though, is more in general, and also advice is so that they can help you, okay? But you're asking for that advice, that expert advice. For example, legal advice. It's a specific guide, right? You go to a lawyer, they're going to give you legal advice. They're going to tell you specifically what to do. Okay? But here we're not asking them to specifically, they're not going to give us specific directions, right? We just kind of want to know their thoughts. So it could be either opinion would work. Please give us your opinion, or your opinion, right? Your opinion would be greatly appreciated. Or your feedback. Now, feedback is similar to opinion, but it's their evaluation. Okay? When someone evaluates you, right, they're giving you feedback. So you could say your feedback would be greatly appreciated, or your opinion would be greatly appreciated. So we have that second part there. Now we want to take a look at that first part. 일본 시장에 대해 시장 조사를 했는데. Okay? So they're basically saying 시장 조사를 했다. Okay? 해서 조언을 주신다면 우리가 되게 그것이 큰 도움이 될 것이다, right? So what would you say here? We could say we did, what is it? 조사. Now, a lot of students will say the word survey, okay? However, survey is not what I want here. The word that we want is research. So let's take a look at the difference. Survey is just the questions that are given. Okay, it's the group of questions that you give to people for information. All right, they're basically just the questions. So you're not saying you did the questions, right? You're saying you did the research, okay? When you receive the survey, then you get that information and then you study that. That is called research. So we did research, 일본 시장에 대해, now on. We did research on the Japanese market, and your feedback would be greatly appreciated. Okay, we're just joining those two together with and, with would be, because remember, would be means 만약 준다면, right? So let's take a look, or let's take a listen at the third sentence.
3. 제가 틀린 것인지 모르겠지만 그것은 엄청난 시간 낭비로 생각됩니다.
Okay, so I want to draw your attention. Maybe you're starting to panic, right? How can I say that first part, right? 내가 틀린 것인지 모르겠지만. But remember, it's not that important to the sentence, right? You really shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be focusing on the main thing, which is 그것은 엄청 시간 낭비로 생각됩니다, right? What's more important there? That last part. But I'm sure some of you may have gotten nervous, right, when you heard that first part, right? So I'm going to give it to you right now. 내가 틀린 것인지 모르겠지만, this is just something formal. There's an introduction to, they may say something that they don't agree with. So we've got a couple of phrases that we could say. We say, I could be mistaken, but, okay, I could be mistaken, but, right? I could be wrong, however. Or we say this, my apologies, 사과드립니다. Okay, 죄송합니다. If, 만약, if I am mistaken, right? 내가 만약 틀렸다면 사과드립니다. Okay? 그지만, but, there always is going to be that but, right? But, now, what is it? 엄청난 시간 낭비로 생각됩니다. Now, you think automatically, I always tell you, find the verb, which is 생각됩니다, which is think, right? But like I said, they don't really like to use the word think. Okay, it's just very general. We can't measure it. We don't know exactly what it is, right? So the think, advice, opinion, feedback is what you want. Their thoughts, the results of the thinking, okay? So you can say something like, my opinion is, 그것은 that. Now go back to subject verb. That is, 시간 낭비, a waste of time, okay? So, my apologies if I am mistaken, but My opinion is that is a big waste of time. That is a waste of time. Okay? So now let's listen to the fourth sentence.
4. 귀하께서 지불하신 금액을 받지